Hey,
we're live? Did you play the intro then?
I didn't expect it to work because I've been hitting it over and over. We're going to roll our intro.
What's up, world, and welcome back to the Global Frequency. We are starting a little bit late because we've had technical issues, but we sent Fowler the link, and today we have a very special guest for you. That would be Matthew Fowler from Retro Graphic Books, here to tell us all about his current comic book crowdfunding campaign, Tyger Blue, available over on Kickstarter. I still got peanut butter.
I was going to say, Neff is scrambling a little bit because I've just been hitting go live repeatedly for like 20 minutes, and he just had a peanut butter cookie in his mouth, and
I'm
it's
starving, man.
So.
All right.
How's it going,
Matty? Can I call you Matty? I always call you Matty Fowler. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Right on.
They call me Matty Fowler in high school. Matty Fowl. Yeah, pretty much.
So, Matty Fowler, I'm glad you're here with us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Before we talk Tyger Blue, let's get to know you a little bit better. First, what's your favorite type of fudge?
Ooh, walnut.
Walnut fudge. Dig it. I dig it. Certainly, I don't think that they sell that walnut fudge over at Spencer's. But it's good that we can still scrounge up some of that walnut fudge on our own, right? Without a deal that we can get from Spencer's.
What's funny is how a saying so old like fudge from Edwin, his flip out on War Campaign like in 2019, where they were making all those fudge memes and jokes, and he's like, you don't have to tell about fudge. And then, the Yanafui song and everything, like,
yep,
kind of. I brought back fudge. I didn't invent it.
You did. You and D-Wag, man. D-Wag been saying schemes and scams, and then you brought that back too hard. Everybody's using it now. Everybody's saying using that expression.
The Edwinisms, I call them. They're Edwinisms.
that's a double entente because Matty Fowler called Lola Candy on the show, and I'm explaining the joke.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
We have a lot of people in the chat that have been keeping us entertained for the last 20 minutes while we've been trying to go live. We've been laughing our faces off at you guys in the chat.
I had to switch accounts because Nefarious got timed out for gross weebery, and he wasn't even doing nothing.
Except existing.
I see all my same 100 out there in the chat. Hail the same 100. Mo, Sumo, Frog, all you guys out there. D-Wag, good to see you guys, man.
D-Wag.
Definitely. I mean, that's our audience is almost exclusively same 100. That's the little I don't want to call it a click, but it's growing too. I mean, Rich is just up to passing 200. I think he's at 204 right now. So we got the same 100. Now we got a new 100. So, that you're going to see that flying around. We got soon to expand beyond our own borders. My goodness. So with your ability to wrangle heifers, one would assume you've had a career in cattle ranching. Is that yes or no? Have you or haven't you?
No, never.
Why haven't you pursued a career in like cattle ranching?
I'm a city guy, so anytime like I'd have to go to some aunt's farm or to visit on some road trip or whatever, I just hate that shit, man. I can't imagine being out there. It's just I don't know, dude. All the mud. I like shoes. All right, I like shoes. Like Air Maxes, Jordans, fucking Timberlands, Wallabies, whatever. Like kicks. And any situation of walking around anywhere in the fucking country or out in the boondocks or out on a farm or some shit is guaranteed to fuck up your kicks. And like I'm anti any situation that puts my shoes in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? Like rainy day. Fuck, it's snowing. God damn it. A little bit muddy or whatever. Man, I hate situations that compromise my kicks.
Your footwear. Yeah, your footwear. See, here I thought it was because you're allergic to bullshit, but you know, you said that it's the footwear. I mean, I guess if you stepped in bullshit too, that you know, that would ruin the kicks. It seems like plenty of people
bullshit's the number one thing
bullshit around
footwear,
here.
right? Exactly.
What's your astrological sign? Do you know your astrological sign?
Yeah, Sagittarius.
I thought it was going to be Scorpio because that is the least inclined to tolerate Taurus. And we already know how much you can't stand cows. Big old fat cows. Anyway, so where are you from? Where did you grow up?
I'm from Peoria, Illinois, but I grew up in Northern California, San Jose and Fremont, a city called Milpitas also. It's all in the same little Northern California area right there in Silicon Valley is where I, went to school. So I was a double kid, school year out in California with all the California kids, summer spent back in Illinois, unsupervised in like a rougher city than my California upbringing. So yeah, I'm kind of one of those double kids basically.
I hear that. She was a latchkey kid and I was a high-rise brat. So, like we all come from different childhood backgrounds, but we all got into comic books. Do you remember what comic book you kind of like first fell in love with that drew you into the medium?
Yeah, I like Detective Comics 600, I believe. It's came out right around the time they did the hard press for the Batman movie in '89. Now I had read comic books as a kid. I believe I had Secret War and I always picked up Spider-Ham and stuff like that. But by the time I was 89, Batman was coming around. I had given up comics. I was like, yeah, that's for kids or whatever. And the hype train that the media had going with the Batman movie, with the Miller's Outpost was selling these awesome Joker t-shirts and Batman t-shirts and Warner Brothers stores were handing out pamphlets at the movie theaters that had all these toys and stuff for the Batman stuff. And I was just like, oh, it was like my first nostalgia buzz almost, because it reminded me all my Super Friends shit I used to fuck with and the Batman 60s reruns and all that stuff. And I was real nostalgic for that. And one week at the flea market in San Jose, it's called the San Jose Greater Flea Market, whatever. It's a huge thing. If you Google it, it's kind of a Northern California like spot. Anyway, I noticed there was a comic book store there, that was like these pop-up tents. And this one was like a full blown, like what you see behind me. It left an impression, to say the least, walking in with all those bagged back issues hanging on the wall, the high dollar books and all the new stuff. And I was like, oh shit, this isn't as whack as the cartoons I grew up with. I was like, oh, they bleed when they get punched in this. And, I remember flipping through Wolfman Perez Teen Titans, right? And it was way more brutal than I imagined. Now I know that was like a series of DC books for older teens. It wasn't exactly like regular comics or whatever, but I was noticing these things are way more brutal, than and edgy than I had experienced, through the toys and the television cartoons and stuff. And I was just at the right age to be really into it.
So, I mean, yeah, like, so that was around 89. That was the first Batman. Yep. That was when we had Keaton and Nicholson or Jack Nicholson. I don't remember. Yeah. One's a golfer and one's a movie star. That was my favorite of the Batman films, the whole Tim Burton element. You were saying that like everything that you started encountering around that time and after felt much more mature. Did you ever encounter The Killing Joke? Because that was like right around then too. It was like 88, 89. And that was the first time that I was like, well, holy shit, like bad stuff can happen in comics. Really bad stuff.
So that comic book store, right, was in San Jose, and I was living in Milpitas at the time. So we didn't have a local shop, right, that I could ride my bike to like that I knew about yet. So what I would do is after I got that fix, I kind of noticed that they were selling graphic novels at this bookstore down on the corner, right? And you could go in there and sit all day and just read the books for free if you didn't have enough money to buy them, because these things were expensive. So I went and I read through the whole Ninja Turtles first comics graphic novels. They were like all the black and white ones and giant size, and they were watercolored over the old black and white stuff. And I read all 4 volumes of those, read all of Dark Knight Returns, Killing Joke, all that stuff. And Killing Joke was one of my favorite books. I know everyone, Alan Moore hates it now that he did it or whatever, regrets doing it, or people say it's, you know, cliche or whatever, but nah, dude, I love Killing Joke. That Brian Boland and Batman with the gray and blue costume, just like my cartoons had, right? The, you know, the spandex and like not looking. See, I hated all that 89 Batman shit in the movie. Like when it came out and it looked like bondage gear, I thought it was like some and I really was like knee jerk, like stomach revulsion to the Batman 89 movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't like it, you know. I like it now in hindsight, but it was knee jerk, you know, repulsion. But that Killing Joke brought that realistic, grown up feel. But they looked like my underoos, you know what I'm saying? They looked like my toys and shit. So I really liked the comics way more, you know. I was very into that shit.
Yeah, Tyler says, looking great as always to you, but to me, the orange shirt isn't working. Go back to prison. All right, that's good. At least I'm not wearing a full denim suit. Matt,
tuxedo.
Mo wants to know, is this you in the Jordache ad with the hair?
I can zoom in if you need to.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, let me zoom in.
Mo says Matty always had game at Miller's Outpost, and then he linked this. To
Miller's Outpost was a spot, man. Like,
yep, there it is.
Really t-shirts. No, actually I did have a mullet, but my hair was like white blonde then, you know, like
Eric goes, they both have hair. I mean, yes, for someone who doesn't have hair, it can be confusing when you mention to the people that do have hair, right? Rich says, hail channel and panel, right? Did
Chat
I get that
and
right?
panel.
Yeah, hail to Rich, man.
I'm going to say that from now on. Hail Rich Ayala Roach Balls. Rich
doing
is
awesome this week.
210 backers on Indiegogo.
Creeping up on that 10K.
10K, baby.
Yep, almost there, man.
What?
The yellow eyes are covering my nips. No, my nips are right here. Like,
I think they're
if anything, they're getting pooped out by the little birds. Anyway, before we like completely descend into insanity, I am going to add this to the stream. I did want to play this for Matty live just to, you know, get his reaction to it. I think our Lord and Savior, the Prophet Viper, cut a track for you. Orange is the new crack. I like that. Yeah, you know, nice. Got thrown in prison for smoking that crack. Yeah. Viper made a song for you, and I just wanted to play it because it's a remix of your greatest hits.
Motherfuckers out here in these streets grinding, giving everything they got to make these books, exactly. And your con artists just float in on the grift stream and just fucking start jacking people. And we got questions.
No.
All right, the chat is lit up asking for me to come in here. Why? Because you guys did nothing but talk about medical conditions for 40 minutes, and we don't even know how this deal began. So start at the beginning.
What could have B Roses added to that conversation?
Step out of the link.
It's coming so easy. Cause the whole world needs me.
Let's see.
Hey, look, it's Tyler.
Give Fowler a link. I don't know who this Matt Fowler is, guys.
I've been throwing flame from the chat, man, because y'all been talking for 45 fucking minutes.
Oh, who's this guy? Matthew Fowler?
Hey guys,
what are you doing here?
They took me, I got all the ladies, so I always feel lucky. The funds that I make got these.
Like a Viper. But I don't play that shit, Candy. So why don't you put on hold and let your man talk? Right? Because you ain't doing nothing but making excuses. So go wait in the car, okay?
Marks wanted to be, but lies so deep. is they hate.
Who's Matthew Fowler?
I changed the way the world rotates. I got the wheel.
This stream needs Fowler. Well, bring Fowler to me.
Bring me Ethan Van Sciver.
You know,
That's
in the street,
Fowler.
I just wanted to make sure.
Wow,
that,
wow.
you
How
know
about that?
what you're saying
There
on
is in
that
real
one.
life.
It's
can eat.
Cause the whole world needs me.
I want to hear some answers. What's the deal? How did the distribution deal start? How did you trick 6 creators into printing out tons of books and sending to? I want to start at the beginning. Okay, can we do that?
Cause the whole world needs me. I'm busy, like a citadel, and in the blank stain, I'm the pinnacle of shine.
The hem hawing around. It sucks. That's all I'm saying.
I have no idea who this Matt Fowler is, guys. I watched him on here, but I have no idea who freaking Matt Fowler is.
But I chop them all down like a lumber. Hit my cash so deep, ain't nothing take me under.
We've got a saying about motherfuckers like this. It's called schemes and scams. We got words for it. It's fudge, and we tell about fudge. We don't hide the fudge. You deceive the fellow creators. They did not know about the middleman. If you withheld information by lying through not telling them shit, that's still lying. That's deceiving, and you deceived the creators by making them think you were higher in the food chain than you were, continuing your illusion of a protected village, a fake city. You understand?
Cause the whole world needs me.
You can't NDA and NDA. You can show the NDA and prove you're in business with something. It's weird. The excuses are just shady. We should have the NDA screen shared right now. That's not against any law. You already have established a pattern of deception. All right, you've got the company that's publishing that hasn't distributed 1,000 comics in 5 years. Then you built up this deal where you have a connection to Spencer's that's not a real connection to Spencer's, but the hiring of a focused marketing group. And you neglected to share that information with all the creators who will be spending their hard-earned money printing out these stacks of books.
Absolute bananas. I gotta say, thanks to Matt Fowler for saving that stream and actually explaining what the fuck was going on.
Send Fowler the link.
That's probably the most notable thing, or at least one of the most notable things that's happened this year. That one stream where you went in and in 15 minutes savaged your way through the bullshit to get at the truth. And as a result, everybody knows your name, bro. Like we all knew you from the chats, and some of us had encountered you before on streams, but man, it spread like wildfire on YouTube. How did they make you feel?
It's funny because they'll play that shit on the background of Crackhead Show or randomly on stream soundboards, and I watch this shit all the time, so my kids will be walking by and hear it and laugh, and they try to tell me to wait in the car or be funny about that shit. And the funny other thing is, like, I'll wake up. I go to sleep pretty early, but I'll wake up and there'll be like random links in my DM box, like just from people who were spamming.
Everyone's sending you the link,
and then the hosts break down and actually just send me the link, and I'm like, I usually text them back like, "Oh, that's just a meme. Like, they don't really want me to come on your show, dude." Like,
but here's the thing: they do. Like, anytime Matty Fowler pops in, everyone's like, "Hey, it's Fowler!" I mean, like, that's one of the great things about this network is all of the interconnected, like, funny jokes and lore and stuff that make people entertained. Like, we just got the Liam JDA clips recently.
Fight me, John.
We got it. I'm just a little man. I'm a tiny koala. fight. I got my little leprechaun arms going. Like, so there's funny lore and stuff that goes on. And like, you're one of those, you created one of those moments in the Gestalt zeitgeist of what is going on right now. And it's immortalized, you know, it'll be remembered forever, man. That's the stuff that I love about this. Comic books, yeah, we're all trying to make comics. We're all trying to make it, but it's the enjoyment that I get out of the chat and interacting with these creators that really keeps me coming back to this time after time.
The same 100 is what keeps me here. The
hashtag same 100, baby.
Yeah. Like hanging out every night, kind of gather up in B Rose's stream, you know, then go over to the Bancroft party, and then, you know, whoever's streaming after that, you know, and some people party all night. You'll end up at a Finatra stream in the morning, hanging out, you know, over there. And that's kind of like my extension, you know, my whole group is about the same 100, just hanging out, you know, kicking it with them. It's great. I love every part of it, man.
Says, I knew someone would use make your own Viper video. It's true. I think Viper himself requested that video get made. We got Xevious on the chat. We got Infinity Comics, Alejandro VS. We got Dave Brink, Genuine Comics. Dave's, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, but I saw Dave drop a tweet saying he's got a special stream coming up, a creator open mic. I know that's 2 p.m. our time Eastern. Dave, if that's going on tomorrow, be sure to drop that in the link, because I'm definitely, you know, positive people would want to show up either to see it or to jump on and say hi, because, you know, you're doing some great stuff in comics right now too, and this community is growing and getting closer, and new people are coming in. We got that same 100, Rich being at 200 backers. We got that new 100. I mean, I don't know, I backed it twice, so I'm honestly convinced that it's just the same 100 backing over and over, right? Because that's how we do, right? We just back these things. I mean, you get to 300, it's because people back in 3 times.
It was a few hours ago.
It was a few hours ago, man. I missed it.
We stink at the whole time conversion thing.
So it was last night that I saw that tweet.
So that would have been too
How impressive is that Roach Ball fucking Ninja Turtle piece with him rocking each of the weapons and each of the little roach arms? That shit is so fucking dope. Like I can't even. Dude, that pinup went almost instantly sold. You know,
it did. It went freaking instantly. As soon as the stream launched, it was gone. Yeah. I got the piece, the Fragaballs piece, which is awesome. But I was gunning for that.
You were trying to get the ninja balls.
It was gone, man.
I already got it. Check this one out. Look, I got this one. He made me.
Hey, nice.
Don't be a cunt. From the infamous argument I had in the chat one time with that one dude.
Who stole that from me? Yeah, I know, and I'm pretty sure it was Ollie. You know, I think we should just throw him out there. You know, Oliver. People.
There's a Dan Plagle Roach Balls piece, friends.
Wait, what? There's a Dan Plagle Roach Balls piece. Did I not see that on his Twitter feed? You can go find that and see if we can screen share it.
I saw like a Silver Age Comics like hero Roach Balls like take on Sully in the fan art. I don't know if you saw that either. I think it might have been Vic King, maybe someone made it, but it looks like it's straight up regular comic book character, you know.
Yo, add that to the stream. That is dope, man. I love what Dan does. There's some certainly like underappreciated and underexposed books in this little corner of our little network that we got going on. Like you say, like we're a subcosm of a microcosm within a microcosm of the comics industry, right?
Yeah,
dude, I'm gonna make that big, okay? Just to look at that real quick. Look at the detail in this. You got Sully with his gat and his booze. That somehow he's also holding a samurai sword with his extra arms. And then we got, I don't know who, but she's definitely a Boob Dan creation because she's like busting out her shirt. I love all the tattoos, the garter belts. That's great, man. That's a great piece right there. Hail to Boob Dan for dropping some Roach Balls inspired art. Great team up, man. That's a brilliant combination right there. Their styles really good. Vic King did the Silver Age version.
That's the coolest
That's
thing
cool.
about when one of your projects like kind of does decent. The artists start to come out of the woodwork, hitting you with the fan art, and it's like different versions, of the shit. And I love that shit. It looks freaking awesome when you get to see your character done up a bunch of different styles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. The love that it feels, like it feels like, oh, they did something that I did something that they like. They like it. They're going to take the time to like, do their own riff on it, their own spin on it. And, maybe I made an impression, and there's something so rewarding about that, because like I was saying earlier, the whole reason that I keep coming back and coming around is because of like, people say the community or whatever, the people that are in the chat, the people that are on the streams, the people that are back in those books, the same 100, who keep this whole thing going. Hey, there he is, Boo Dan himself, Dan Plagle. It's a great character. Hello, friend.
Yeah, they used to do a drawn and quartered every week, and then they'd have the drawn and quartered fan edition, and like a murderer's row of artists would draw CG characters. Like you'd get Matt Weldon and Mike Miller and Ethan and John Malin would be on there, and Kanan White would come in, and they would all do jawbreakers that week or whatever. And it was an extremely exciting time for the fan art, and then our same 100 size books would get the same treatment on the drawn and quartered fan edition, like the day after. And I miss those times, where there was a weekly, like, dose of energy being pumped in with the characters, like getting drawn by.
I remember the Fraggle streams, where people would come on and they draw the characters and stuff, and that was always fun. I haven't seen a Fragga stream in a while.
That was derivative to me. Fragga came in and everybody hates Mike, because they made everybody hate Mike, and Mike made everybody hate him, and kind of stole that. I'll do that, and then he didn't. It's not the same to me as the old one, where it was more about drawing our shit, and not drawing Marvel.
I would much prefer that, seeing our stuff get drawn, but it is still cool when artists come together and they do stuff like that. Like Hockey's got a show, right?
Yeah.
Hockey has I don't know, is it Ready Set Draw or something like that? Dueling.
Yeah, he has a couple
brushes.
of them, and they do like
and they come on and they do the
drawing.
prompts. They roll the dice. Then like there's a bunch of different things that he does with
I
art.
haven't gotten notifications.
I haven't gotten notifications in a while either,
still.
but that's always fun. Like I would love to see, since this is an artist's community, like having more stuff like you were saying, where we're drawing each other's characters and having a good time. Eric said John Hervey is one creator that should be getting more attention, in my opinion. He's fulfilled 3 campaigns. All the books are great, and he has an open mailing list for his 4th. That is true.
What's his book?
The Dragon book. What's the name of the Dragon book?
Frog G put up the link. It says Magna and the Posse.
I've got Magna.
I don't know if that's that one. And then there was Black.
Yeah, Tiger. Yeah. Black Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
I get like confused now, because we got Tyger Blue and Black Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And it's all, it's all like kind of mush. I mean, my whole head is mush.
Okay, that's why we haven't. Mobus says Hockey hasn't done his drawing show in a while, but he's still co-host.
Lists on Alley's, yeah.
Black Tiger is that Rod Looper book, right? That
yeah, it is. It is. We own the cover to that.
Yeah.
I lost out on that big
Rod Looper.
dragon spread to was it Get Over It or What About It? It was one of the two. I think it was Get Over It. Who I lost out to, but like that piece went for $1,600. It's crazy.
I remember when that Black Tiger shit first came around, like he had all kinds of painted covers by Greg Horn. I don't know if you remember Greg Horn. He did all kinds of Marvel masterpiece paintings, and like a White Queen poster that was pretty popular in the early 2000s. But yeah, it was like a mega talent. He did all kinds of cover work back in the day.
There were werewolves like last year, man. Come on, Raiden Radio. Yeah. So how? He said that they do Fan Edition is the show that's still drawing indie books. I've never seen Fan Edition, I don't think. So somebody throw a link to that in the chat so I can click on it and at the very least sub and get notifications, because I would love to see some artists drawing our indie stuff. We need to celebrate it. We need to have a good time, because even if we're not doing super well and raking in the cash like these campaigns that are getting those 6 figures, or we're getting out in front of people's eyes, getting thousands of backers, the very least would be to appreciate each other's stuff and appreciate each other and the contributions that we all make and have a good time with it, right? And I think that's what the Same 100 vibe is all about, man. We're all about doing the fun stuff, having a good time, and enjoying the day-to-day that goes on these streams, and with each other's appearances and what happens in the chat.
Frog G says, with all these great books, we need more warehouses.
Oh God. Oh man.
I enjoyed them.
Shadowpunk says Fowler's here. Cool. I know it's always a good time, you know, when he's either in the chat or on the stream. Personally, I think it's great for you to like just, you know, for us to see your glowing face every once in a while. So if I were you, and I'm not, but if I were you, I would click that link every once in a while, come in, say some shit on the stream, and then bounce, because you know someone's going to clip it and they're going to make a montage and we're going to get more Fowler videos. And that's really what we all want, man. We all want like that fun that comes out of doing this day in and day out, because this shit can get tedious, you know, it can.
Yeah.
I'm into fan art, but maybe I can start composing fan sonnets. Interesting. I like it.
I mean, us hashtag just a writer, you know, we kind of get screwed. We got to use a lot of words. So do you want to look at Tyger Blue on Kickstarter right now? Do you want me to ask you some questions about stuff? Because I checked out.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as it was. It's just giving people a little second chance. So I don't usually mess with Kickstarter because it doesn't do well, but I put Dixie Rose on there as a joke, and I got more backers.
Bad Girls do so good over there
without even promoting it at all on Dixie Rose. So I know a lot of Jose's customers are over on Kickstarter, and I mean, quite frankly, these books don't make themselves. You know, the shit ain't free, so I got to try to sell this everywhere. I don't have the luxury,
you know, I agree.
of a platform where I can judge people who sell and trade amongst different places and deem them unworthy or whatever. You know, I'm not an asshole. I fucking just sell comic books, you know. So if y'all guys hate Kickstarter, me too. But you know, Indiegogo will ban you too. Just as we saw this week with Liam Fight Me Gray taking out the evil John Delrose, making us root for a villain. We all had to be like,
which of the lesser evils? I mean,
the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life is watching an entire community root for the villain. You know, it's like it's two villains fighting. You don't have to pick a winner. It exposed Indiegogo, though, as quite bitch-like and willing to cave under very little pressure from a very low-level enemy. I mean, imagine what SJWs with time on their hands and a vendetta would do. You know, I mean, so I'm going everywhere that will have me until they kick me out. So
yeah, and you've been funding that way since you've been funding that way since like 2020. I think you've done 4 campaigns total on both platforms, and I think it started with Seicho 66. Do you have
Matt Weldon was the artist, and a majority of his backers live over on Kickstarter, right? So
which is when I was checking the totals, it seems like the stuff that didn't do as well. I mean, but you crushed it. You crushed it with Dixie Rose. I did want to ask you on Indiegogo, you canceled the campaign after a certain amount of time. What was the reason for that? Because I managed to get in at like the champagne brew box before it went down.
You mean don't leave it in demand or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate having the campaigns. Like crowdfunding is like living in battery acid. It's like it erodes your soul from the very tips of your head to the very ends of your toes. It is like living in the most destructive acid ever. And it ruins my favorite thing, which is hanging out in the chat. Like my time is hanging with Mo, making fun of a blouse that someone's wearing, or talking shit about something stupid Heather Antos did, or making fun of a movie or whatever. That's where I like to be. I don't like to be in that space as a human spam. Like I don't want to hang out with my homies like, yo, I'm having fun today, guys. By the way, I had fun driving your books to the shipping office today when I shipped this on Indie. I'm from the chat. You understand? So I don't like to live through it as a salesman. So I'm in and out. I'm thinking about doing Tyger Blue 2 for 2 weeks because really there's no love in it. You get a burst at the beginning and it's done. And let's face it, it's comic books. They're not meant to be on the shelf for 2 years. If your local comic book store was selling you the same back wall of the same fucking 10 titles for 3 years, you wouldn't go to the comic book store anymore. That's just facts. Comic books are different every week. It's like, get your money, get out, go make your book, and come back when you're ready for the other book. Until then, hang out, be around, but don't be spam. In demand turns human beings into spam, and it's degrading.
You're actively
and I don't want to be part of that. I'm not a part of that. These are my internet friends and my people, and I love when they back me, but I don't want to be a used car salesman. You know, I don't want to be human spam, and that's why I cut them shits off. My wife makes me throw them on Kickstarter. I'm like, whatever. I'm not going to promote them. Go ahead. You know, and it's always just been like that. And it rakes in extra and it covers shipping supplies and maybe the printing, you know, with what we get over there, whatever. But I mean, dude, this shit is just fantasy publishing of OCs at this point. If you got 300 sales or 400 sales, even the big dudes with 2,000 sales, like this, it's not really a lot, you know. It's like,
no, it's not. There's not a whole lot of money in indie comics, and even people doing it full time, they're not getting rich off it. I used to argue with people who were like, "Oh, but your boy Zach, and you know, $500,000, and oh, Ethan, $1 million." I'm like, how long did it take him to make? You know, you take a look at the income over time.
Problems, right? Like even with that enormous fucking thing, right? Well, Zach, for instance, let's just start at the beginning. Jawbreakers, right?
Yeah.
Jawbreakers was fucking like over a year late, bro. It showed up with blurry lettering that was unreadable.
Dude, there's a Jawbreakers that still hasn't been delivered. Grand Bazaar is still out, man. Like
it was delivered over a year late. It showed up with blurry lettering. It was shipped in a sandpaper cardboard envelope with zero protection. It was a fail. It was $400,000, huge financial success. But as far as like everything we were going for and like, let's honor the customers. Let's deliver on time because Cullen Bunn and all those SJW Kickstarters are always late and they're so awful. Like that was the way it was. It was, we're going to be better. We're going to be something awesome. Right?
Yo, Mo's had it.
Mo knows. Fuck that sandpaper envelope. It's disrespectful. It is. It was an insult to people who overpaid. $25 for that shit is overpaid.
It was fucking thin too.
And the minute
it felt like a slap in the face. There was no story.
It's like no more Malin. It's like the only reason I bought Jawbreakers was for Malin. It's like anyway, he made good by doing another run and making a whole bunch more money fixing the fuck up. But whatever, nobody cares. There's no craftsmanship or care into the shit. Even though the message is we put craftsmanship. I don't know if you remember the first year. It was artisanal comic books, gourmet shit. We were going to deliver gourmet.
I look at it as a boutique industry, you know? Right. But that's the thing. Yeah.
Instead, we get sandpaper envelopes with blurry lettering. So then what was number two? Number two was Cyberfrog, the big honcho, right? Not as many pages as it was supposed to be. The cover didn't fit because he didn't research properly because he's an artist, not a full-blown thing. And what did we get? We got a real thin comic book real late that was wet. It was soggy and the pages were fluting. We all had to learn what fluting meant and what those terms were and how that it's not okay. It's supposed to be like that. And the paper is French and deluxe. And we had to be like snowballed, you know? It's like, nah, just say I fucked up on the paper and it'll be better next time. And it's coming around now, but it's like now you bring in these people like Cecil and Fraga and all the bigwigs who just aren't finishing books for 2 years. You know, it's like Shinobi Sasquatch. Where is it? Fucking
There's a lot of books.
Fatal? I love Clint, but
that
where's
stuff's early,
Fatal?
though,
Where's Fatal? I've been wanting Fatal for years, dude. You have
the Clint Stoker
like,
book. Yeah.
Little people are stuck. They have to finish their campaign. Big people can run 5 campaigns and not worry about finishing them, and there's just an imbalance, and I can't get my mind around it. It didn't start like this. I don't know how we ended up here. This was a consumer movement about respecting consumers and bringing them gourmet comics, artisanal comics and I just shake my head at it as I look at the CG Creator top 10 for February. If you look at what's popular and what's selling, if you were to pick a gourmet menu, the items on it are not gourmet, so whatever. It's something else. It's not a comic book movement, and I don't know why it has to be branded as such when comics are nothing to do with it. You watch like Sheila. We all love Sheila Alien, but you watched her on the show last night. I have nothing to do with Star Wars. I have nothing to do with comics. I have nothing to do with that. I just like making fat memes of Ethan on a horse. Hi, sprinkle, sprinkle. It's like, dude, it's not what I signed up for. And
I'm putting that to a beat. That is going to get a fire beat underneath it.
I'm saying, dog. I love the AI art or whatever, but it's like, dude, the lack of knowledge of any of this is horrifying. It's like we have an opportunity to redefine things. And I don't mean to get all Liam Gray and save the industry about that shit, but it's like, dog, when this shit started in 2018, it looked like it could be a new Image Comics. We had Art T. Bear and like shit was popping. It's like, I don't know what it is now, but I like the same 100, and I'm just cool making black and white comics and hanging out with that group. And I'm not really trying to penetrate that outer shell at this point, because I honestly don't even know if I'd want to be there, because it doesn't fit with what I'm doing or my beliefs or what I'm trying to bring the customers. I'm trying to do something else. I'm trying to wow these people.
Yeah. And I'd say in our little corner of the woods with the smaller creators, there's literally hundreds of books. If I open up my Indiegogo backer thing, I've backed about 400 books in the past 2 years. 400 backings. I know a couple of them are like duplicates because, same 100 got to back more than once, right? To get those numbers up, we got to get, 200, you got to back twice. But all of those books failed to make 6 figures. A lot of them broke 5K, like Cobalt. First run of Cobalt just broke 5,000. These
Cobalt
are good books.
Is a mind blower.
Yeah.
Many of these books are like that, though.
A Marvel level, Alex Maleev, Daredevil at the height of Bendis Maleev's run in the 2000s, quality book, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's because Arroyo is great. And Jake's a good writer,
But it gets the full support of the slum towns. It gets the full support of the same 100. It gets the light of the human sunbeam, dude. Ethan plugged Cobalt. He said, "This is dope. This is." But
it only got $5,000, and it didn't even break 200 backers. I don't think so. That's the point. There are people here for books, and then there's people here for drama and streams. And the majority of the people that be watching these streams with the 400, 500 concurrent viewers, they're not here for books, because if they were, there would be people backing these books more than just the same 100. But that's where the Johnny Depp comes from. That's the whole point.
Johnny Depp and Amber Heard gossip fans don't buy comics, which is why we see Tug back with us.
Notice Tug's book in one day clears like $40,000, right?
Glad to have you back, dude. It's nice to see you. I haven't been around in a while. You're back now. Nice to see you again. Because you know who else doesn't buy books? Hamburger review fans. That have millions of views, that have Netflix shows, and Dame drops cheeseburgers. Billions of followers or whatnot, view hours. You know how many comic books they bought with Kanan White on the art? Like less than 100, man. Not even
that Kanan White cover too, right? I mean, he did pretty good, but he didn't break 20K, and he should have. You know, Joe's been doing.
Well, Star Circuit was dope, even without the Kanan White cover. I feel like Kanan leaving Comicsgate kind of like threw a flamethrower across anyone who paid him X amount of dollars for a cover that year, and kind of put like a pox on all their books. Rob Willis too, with him going around doing covers for everyone and fucking his backers over on Shinobi Sasquatch and fucking Cal and taking all those side jobs and just fucking everyone over. I think having an ash can by him and covers by him hurts your campaign at this point. That he leaves such a foul taste in backers' mouths from just basically what amounts to stealing from them.
That's fair. I mean, that argument was made a couple of, I don't know, like 6 to 8 months ago. And I think the consensus has been like, until people fulfill the work that they took on earlier, they really shouldn't be taking on a ton of work on the back end to the point where they neglect the stuff they did early on. I'm not entirely privy to the whole story behind Shinobi Sasquatch. I get updates, you know, and we talk about it, but I don't know if that book is ever going to get done. The question then becomes, is Rob Willis going to be persona non grata? Is no one ever going to support him again because he fucked up like that? Your boy Zach has fucked up fulfillment how many times? I mean, no disrespect to the human sunbeam, but Ethan doesn't have the greatest track record with fulfillment or finishing his books either. So if we're going to have standards, let's have standards across the boards. Let's not let people slide. Let's not hide the fudge. Let's call everyone out, which is why on our side of the fence over here in Slumtown, like you said, people making books, people making good books and shipping books. And we don't have the type of traffic that these bigger creators do because they have these larger followings on YouTube. Malin's right. Build up your YouTube platform, you'll sell comics, but you won't sell to people who like comics. You'll sell to your YouTube fans.
How big is Malin's platform? Malin says that from Ethan's platform. You understand? Malin was platformed and pulled the fucking ladder up behind him every step of the goddamn way. When he sings that shit about build your fucking platform, I just want to laugh because it's nothing meant more than to keep creators distracted and not making books, wasting their time on YouTube channels that 6 people watch in hopes that they can maybe scrape off a meme or something to laugh at on a bigger channel for several days. It's like that build your platform shit would be okay if it was coming from anyone who actually built a platform. I mean, that's
Mo's got a good point here. I am going to say,
I would say thoughts and making some like group endeavor that's like a negative poison for the overall total of good comics being made, just to hopefully bring in people who like to watch girls pissing on stream and fucking guys who fuck dolls and shit. It's fucking weird shit. And I guess it's entertaining, but to me, it's not my jam. And it doesn't do anything for comics as far as I'm concerned.
That's the point right there. It doesn't do anything for comics. Mo had a point. He said, I would agree, but I'd say Ethan and Zach entertain the audience while being late. But my question is, how much of the audience are actual comic book readers? Because there's a huge audience, but there are not a whole lot of comic book backers on the
Indiegogo then they'll flex campaign. The muscle, like, do the readers have to be comic book readers? And it's like, well, I don't know, because I feel like someone who doesn't read comic books is going to have a hard time determining what's good or not. Like, what the fuck would non-comic book readers shouting how great something is do? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't understand. You don't want a bunch of fucking retards who don't have their driver's license telling you what Porsche to buy. Do you?
No, you don't, because they
I don't have my license.
Ain't comparing them.
Fucking retarded, but you know, you should get the Porsche 911. It's like, what the fuck? You're never even going to drive, let alone get late. Why are you trying to tell me what the fuck type of luxury car to buy? It's fucking weird. I don't know, man.
Chauncey Blakey came in earlier saying he was only here to see if I fucked up his name. I did not. So rest assured that, you know, that has been taken care of. Shadowpunk says, these are excellent points. Damn it, Jim, I'm an artist, not a YouTube channel host. Now, see, there's a thing. You can cultivate a following on YouTube. We're very slowly growing our following on YouTube because what we do is we talk about comics and we talk to guests and we like to have fun. We're not about like the shocking content that like you were talking about and what about said, you know, the piss stream. That's not really where I'm at.
Piss stream shit is funny. It just is not a net gain for comic books. You know what I'm saying?
And it doesn't do anything for the stuff that we're all trying to do. So So the question then becomes,
whack.
are we really trying to make comics, or is it like you were saying earlier, a vanity project where we're publishing our OCs and, you know, making things for our friends to read? Or are we actually making a go at this in this boutique industry? What do you think?
I think I'm making OC characters for the same 100 to read, to honestly tell you the truth. Like, I craft that shit to hit those people's needs. And a lot of those people, like, to me, are comic book fans, because when I talk to them in the chat, they're talking about shit that I know about, you know? So I can't figure around what I would want and what, like, I think the crew would want. And I can't really worry about breaking through to some massive audience, because the entire industry is dying anyway. The mainstream or whatever, it's like showing up at the height of CDs and being like, I'm ready to make that 12-inch vinyl, guys. You know, like,
we're going to have to wait a decade until hipsters decide that vinyl's cool again. And at that point, we've already run out of money making the vinyls. And they're like, oh, it's good because there aren't a whole lot of vinyls. And yeah, we only printed 1,000 of our books, right? Greg says his opinion is what he needs is infrastructure to be put in place that can economically empower CG creators. I'm working on that now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even think it's a matter of empowering CG creators. I think it's finding a fucking audience that's willing to buy the books. I think it's finding people who want to spend their money on this shit. Economically empowering people to make their books, yeah, that's one thing. We can spend all the money making these books, and we do. We come out with them all the fucking time. Like I said, look at my Indiegogo backing history. There's plenty of books to buy. There's plenty of creators making the books. There aren't hundreds of thousands of people buying them. That's the whole point of the same 100. Really, it is 100 people backing books. Ethan has an audience of 1,000 people. Seriously, still only 100 people backing the books. We're not fighting over, 1,000 people or marketing it to 1,000 people. And even when we do, 100 people back the books. So what we need to actually have a community that's interested in buying and making comic books. Right now, it seems like a cult of personality where people are more interested in buying books from people that they watch on YouTube. So, Neff rant, right?
Well, my question is if you got $100,000 backer channel or whatever, right? Why not make dope books? Like, why make whack shit? If you've got all that following and all that backing and all that cheddar going into your men's rights activist channel that they're buying books now, or whatever the fuck you come from, your Fandom Menace or wherever Gamergate you floated in from with all your 100,000 subscribers, and they're all buying your books, and you're surrounded with this community of like creators that have skills you wouldn't believe. Why make whack shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. Like,
that's
why not have an editor? Why not have a proofreader? Not even an editor. The idea of an editor is like too oppressive and controlling, right? But like, how about a bitch who hates comics, who knows how to spell and has no bias and can read through your shit? That's what I do. Like I want a chick who hates comic books. It gives no fuck about it and just is like a bitch librarian type that just will go through this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't hire a proofreader and an editor who has to yes man you because you're in a position of power over them because of marketing and personality power. You understand? Like, a lot of creators are falling victim to this being a hoe for someone who can pimp them. You understand? Like, say you drew a book for a guy who has got like the highest selling book right now. Just because you drew that book doesn't mean your own book will sell at all. Like, say that book sold thousands of copies, and in the whole time your book that you work on only sold 15 copies over the entire run of that giant book. So you didn't get any benefit from the clout promised by the people who are doing this pimping, right? You didn't get any benefit from it, but you've been pimped now, right? And now they're making all the money off your back, and you're down here, and you didn't even get a boost of 15 books sold. I mean,
exactly.
And I'm not talking about Tyger Blue. Tyger Blue is my highest selling book. It outsold all my other books put together. I'm doing fine. I'm just talking about these people who get hired away, not poached, because we can't say poached anymore. We have to say enticed and pimped with offers of clout and promotion, right? So however they get lured away or whatever, they're getting pimped. They're not really getting the benefits from it. And you'll see a change going forward, I think, in the way.
Well, there's going to be new talent coming in, right? There's always new talent coming in. If our artists are getting snatched up by people who got more money to offer them, then we're going to find new artists because we want to make books. Once again, it comes back down to who is making books, who wants to make books, and are there people buying those books? And the low numbers, the backer fatigue, yeah, I can see that that's happening, but the most important thing is expanding the audience in my mind to get people who want to be a part of this and want to buy the books, who want to have fun. That's the whole point. Let's make stuff that's fun.
Expanding the audience line that they always feed, right? You've seen my campaigns. First campaign failed as fuck. I brought in the artist that did every single Konami box cover from that on every single.
Was that Red Giant? Was that Red Giant Battle?
Red Giant Battle funded to 11.
That book is dope as fuck. Where is it? I looked at all of the art on your website, man. It is dope.
Yeah, it's sitting on a hard drive, unreleased because there's no interest. But you bring all that in, and no one gives a fuck. What are you gonna do? You know, I mean. It's got clout. It's got the video game talent, right? To where if it was marketed, it would have crossover appeal to break into video game people and get video game people buying comic books, right? And that crossover appeal. But no crossover appeal because that spout only goes one way. The video game people don't buy comic books. Comic book people buy video games. You understand? It's a one-way street. So then what I tried to cross over with the Tokusatsu, Super Sentai people, the people who love Power Rangers.
That was 66, right? Seicho 66.
There's an entire genre of that in Japan. It's huge. Godzilla was really big at the time and all that shit. Beautiful artwork that looks like it should be like framed and shit. Matt Weldon killed it, right?
Yeah, Weldon was on it. Yeah, you did the campaign in 2000, right?
Right.
In March and in July of 2000.
I got that book invited and put on with people who sell books at kaiju conventions that go sell those expensive ass Godzilla models, right? Those people buy Seicho 66 like crazy. They buy it out every time they buy a Godzilla model, right? But they don't really buy comics. You know what I'm saying? It's just because it's there with the kaiju stuff. It's not. There's no crossover from that huge market of 42-year-olds who spend hundreds of dollars on these models. I mean, I can't even describe how expensive this Godzilla shit is. You wouldn't believe it. Anyway, that's an active market, same as the retro video game collectors, of 42-year-old men with expendable income, right?
Yeah, and huge expendable income.
No breakthrough, though. They don't give a fuck about comic books, right? The Super Sentai people don't give a fuck about comic books. So what did I do next?
Dixie Rose.
So I teamed up with.
Actually, no, you didn't. You did the Prospectors. Call it out. You did the Prospectors. Call it out.
So bad. Every time I look at that book, I'm like, dude, I would buy that off any shelf.
Dude, it was gorgeous. It's the same team from Dixie Rose. It's Weathers on Letters. You got Ricardo Jamie. You got what's his name? The guy that colored the Ricardo Jamie. Marcos Martins. We used Marcos. So our ARO print is Ricardo Jamie, Marcos Martins. And it was because I saw your ARO print on Dixie Rose that we did that. I was like, this dude has it down. We got to get a team like that to do one of ours. Now, you know, you could say that I'm biting your style. Maybe I am, but I'm borrowing what I think works. And I love the fact that it was done that way. So you had the same team on the Prospectors. Why didn't the Prospectors sell?
I have no idea. It was a ghost town. It didn't pan out. You know, there's plenty of jokes about that shit, man.
God.
I'm telling you. I don't know. I have no idea. It had a Rob Willis cover, Kanan White cover, 12-page ash can by Rob Willis.
It was on both platforms again. Yeah.
Yeah. And no one cared. So I don't know. I can't make a cooler book than the Prospectors. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't go out and make something
to throw these
different that will catch on, but I can't afford to just keep trying to double down on something no one wants. Because not only did the Prospectors fail, it flopped. Like that shit.
Yeah, it did. It felt hard.
It's like
I didn't really want to like bring it up too much, but it's like that is the one thing that happened between Sideshow 66 and Dixie Rose, and like it took you a year to recover. Looking at your timeline of when you funded Prospectors and then when you funded Dixie Rose, when Prospectors went down, you said that you were going to focus on Sideshow 66 Part 2, but the next thing that came along was Dixie Rose. And dude, I bought the hell out of Dixie Rose.
Sideshow 66 Part 2 is penciled and supposed to be done, but I couldn't tell anybody, but Matt Weldon got a job working on Red Sonja. Like, so he'd been doing a Red Sonja.
So he ain't inked it yet? So he's not.
No, and I don't even talk to those Iconics Comics guys. I asked them to have my book removed from their website because of all the bad blood they have with Comicsgate. You know, like Tim Lim and all them. You know, over there fighting with Ethan all the time, right? So I didn't want to be on their website, and they refused to remove my book. So I kind of got that stigma that I'm somehow connected to them when I'm not. You know, Matt just ended up working on their stuff and gave them a pile of our books at a convention, and they're selling them on their website. And it's like, I'm not connected to that, you know, Iconic Comics at all, man.
I mean, I wouldn't mind actually being connected to them because they've
I would, because they don't help promote or anything. They don't help sell my books. They've got their own.
It's fair. I don't want to be connected to them. I want to be competing with them. I want to have the same audience access.
They looked at my book and then hired my art team. I don't think they did any type of promotion. They're just as bad.
So that's what you were saying earlier about like take somebody.
See, that's the problem when you're a writer and you got to get some fire and you're out there promoting it. There's piranhas that are going to try to take like what you have before you even get to finish what you're doing. So it's real high risk if you want the shit to look good. You know, you can draw it yourself and make it look like dog shit and super chat all day and hope you'll get fucking some traction and then do it 3 times or whatever. But I never want any of my books to look whack, dude. I hate whack.
Exactly.
I detest them. I only make comic books because of those stupid SJWs that went against Zach and were like, if you hate our book so much, let's
make
see
your
what
own.
You do. Yeah. And I'm like, hold my beer. Like, your shit is trash. Squirrel Girl is trash. Fucking America Chavez is trash. All that gay Iceman, fucking every other X-Men is sucking the other X-Men's fucking asshole shit is fucking done. I'm done with that shit. I took the challenge. I made the own comics. They're here. They're better than that shit. And if you don't want to buy them, don't buy them. I mean, don't buy my books. I mean, obviously motherfuckers don't. I don't know what else to do to sell them shits though. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I think we gotta bust the dam to get more people interested in the books. And I think Eric was saying it's a double-edged sword because normies don't want to go near
Look at that
books.
fucking cover with that dude on the house. Go back.
Yeah.
That is some of the sickest shit I've seen since Mark Silvestri drew Wolverine with Larry Hama in the 90s. I don't know what is appealing, what is not appealing about that shit. Like, that cover right there is everything I would want out of a comic book. It's a dope monster, a hot titty chick, some crazy hero with powers, a clever comic book logo name and shit. Like, that is everything I like about comic books.
It's a hot art team too.
Yeah.
Real hot art team.
That got zero traction is it's just, it baffles me because like that cover, it's a characters designed by Kanan. It's like, I just don't understand what happened. You know?
Yeah, I gotta say, like, and it's sad. I never even heard of it. You know, like, I don't know. There was no real, I don't think that there was a whole lot of marketing and promotion that went into it because I never got word of it. But then again, at the same time, I hadn't integrated as deeply into this network as I am now. You know, I really got into this around the end of 2000, early 2001. You know, like I was back in books, but it was I think it was July.
There wasn't no advertising. The Prospectors was advertised in 11 different.
I'm sorry, 2021.
I was gonna say, I'm like, it was not
2 decades. I'm sorry.
It's okay. He doesn't know what day.
There was no marketing campaign for the Prospectors is horseshit though, because the Prospectors, there was 11 full-page ads for the Prospectors in the year it came out in 11 different Comicsgate books. You know, it's in the back of Sweetcast's first Downcast book, There was 2 or 3 Alterna comics with full page ads for the prospectors in it. It had the same amount of advertising as I put into Sideshow 66. It was just COVID year. It was October of COVID year, man. Is the only thing I can think. But I mean, I don't know. Like, it is the book I'd want to make, though, for sure. But you know, it's still to this day like kills me. It's like I don't understand. Like, just looking at that cover with the owl and the guy riding it and shit, fighting, you know, shit. It's like, dude, that is what I want out of a comic.
But it's made, right? Is it made? Did you finish?
No. That was the get 10 pages done or 5 pages done, fund with a true goal of like $10,000 or whatever, you know, and produce it.
And
like everybody
Marcos and Ricardo are probably not what they cost back then. So finishing it's going to be more difficult.
Fully finishing a book is like all frowned upon now, but back then it's like I tried to do an unfinished book and no one wants to care. So Tyger Blue comes out, it's done already. It's like, well, what am I going to do? Either way, you're at a huge loss. Developing the 5 pages and all the covers and shit is a few grand. Like, you know what I'm saying? And finishing the book is like 3 times that. But if you don't have something to sell, you can't do shit. So it's like a chicken or egg scenario. It's like, well, do I fucking create this? And then people are like, well, you don't believe in it enough. You're begging for the money. If you believed in it, and then it's like, once you put all the money up and do it, they're like, well, not everybody can put the money up and do it. It's like, motherfucker, what the fuck? Like,
what do you get on Dixie Rose?
With this like bipolar fucking, should the book be done? Should the book not be done? Shit.
Dude, it's nobody's gonna agree. Nobody's gonna agree. It should be halfway done or halfway done, fully done.
Be a penalty. Like you said, there's this huge gap in my work history, but there's not, because I fucking was working on Tyger Blue to completion that whole time. You know, there's not. Prospectors failed in the October. And I put the whole team to work on Dixie Rose to keep them working through the Christmas season so they could feed their families. Like when you
5, right?
When you buy art from Ricardo and Marcos and shit, that like pays their whole lives down there, dude. Yeah. Like they live in utter poverty, and the money we give them, even for that pinup you did, that's big bucks, man. And then when they lose a project, right? And they go from being able to draw 52 pages to only having to draw 5, and then they're out. That's some canceled Christmas shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I didn't feel comfortable with that canceled Christmas shit. That's why like I said, I linked up with the strip club that had the 10,000 TikTok followers. We're talking about 42-year-old men with expendable income.
Disposable income. Yeah.
So as I was sitting at the strip club, I was thinking like, yo, man, why don't I make a club?
Throwing 20s at these bitches. What if I made a comic book about it?
And much like Sideshow 66 at the Kaiju shows selling copies, Dixie Rose sells at the bar. Every time people come in, the girls sell them a book, you know, like I don't know. It's not like I want to sell comics, though. I want my shit on a store shelf. I want to work for one of the big companies. I want to take my crack at Iron Fist or something. You know what I'm saying? I love comic books. I'm not ready.
I just want to take my crack.
Comic books, you know, like, and I feel a lot of this shit is like, well, let's abandon the mainstream and destroy it. And it's like, well, yeah, but you ain't really offering shit that's worthwhile at all. So like, let's make something dope and then destroy it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's not, you know, like let's make the cool thing first. I mean, everybody loves Cyberfrog or whatever, but like Circle Jerk, man, it's been the same issue for 3 fucking years now. If a TV show came out with 1 episode of Breaking Bad and then you didn't get anything but some Malcolm in the Middle reruns that in a box set, and then you didn't get the next episode of Breaking Bad, right? You still haven't even got episode 2 of Breaking Bad. And there's a whole series that you lose interest, man. This shit's more boring than the Walking Dead farm season, you know, where they were stuck on the farm and like nothing happened for just like forever.
I didn't even watch that season, I don't think. What about now? I know like you got a lot of exposure, right? With Tyger Blue, you got 16 grand, right? Dixie Rose did 5.
It's triple, or it's all my other campaigns combined. I think it'd be.
So you're coming off of a hot run off of Dixie Rose. And I definitely think the angry Matty Fowler had something to do with that, because everybody EFAP'd that stream. Everybody saw Matty Fowler go nuts and call it out. And so in a way, yes, the YouTube thing worked in your favor because suddenly people were more aware of you. But it's not like you've been putting all of your attention into maintaining a YouTube following. You had almost like what we would call a viral moment inside a Comicsgate. And then people were like, oh, let's check out this book. Oh, yeah, we got disposable income. We'll throw it at that. So there's kind of, I can see the model existing simultaneously on both sides, having a YouTube following and cultivating one so that you can make your books and sell those to that audience, but also one where you're trying to make books and court a comic book following and then be shouted out on YouTube. There's got to be some sort of sympathetic way to do kind of a synthesis of the two. Would you take another crack at prospectors now that people are more aware of Tyger Blue, or do you think you'd have to have another moment like that one to get them attracted to prospectors the way they were attracted to Tyger Blue? Like, are you going to stay in their mind? You know, are you going to stay in the forefront?
I don't credit the meme shit for Tyger Blue. We were at 10K before I even was sent the link. I credit 100% of Tyger Blue's success to Michael Bancroft. Like him launching it, the good energy of the show, just the positivity. I also credit like Crackhead Jeremy and a few other people I sent
LCH Bancroft. Yep.
Who took it up as their cause. Like I was nothing.
Steve Worster doing those.
Steve works on the book. Yeah, I can't really, count him. He's the action figure guy. So
but that's what I'm saying is like you got people from this network around you.
Oh, completely. Bancroft, we call Tyger Blue the crack baby because
there it is.
Like came from Crack Bag. The video game came from Crack Bag. The artist is Crack Bag. The writer.
Aerith did the Aerith had a similar marketing thing with his 8-bit cartridge on the tape 1 or tape 2. You got Crack Rocks now on Roach Balls. So like all of this stuff is self-perpetuating in a way, like it makes the next thing even better. Your innovation is going to lead to more innovation, which is going to come around back to you. That's why all of us working together should be building it up. The question is, it remains like, how do you capitalize on that? So yeah, you were at 10K, but then 16K. 6 is still close to 10. If you hit 20, that would have been doubling it. You know what I mean? Fowler happened to catch fire as a persona. At the same time he was funding a badass book. Exactly. Prospectors looks like it could be a badass book. What I'm saying is that Fowler caught fire while that book was going on. If we funded Prospectors, would we have to have another fire moment with Fowler so that it popped and people went, oh shit, we're going to back this book because it is a badass book and we like Fowler and we're aware of him? How do you stay in the collective consciousness long enough to say, hey, I'm funding another book. Why don't people back me? Matt Fowler inspired me to sell crack. He is a hero to me. There it is, man. If you inspired Rich Ayala to sell crack on Roach Balls, I mean, I don't think that there's a bigger compliment right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love when he was on the Big Show and the guys are laughing and talking about the Crack Rocks being a funny add-on and shit. It's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, don't smoke those though.
You get the right eyes. If a tree falls in the woods, it doesn't make a sound. And I've been falling in the woods for several years, and it's like, I'm just not really making that sound. And you can't really plan to be a meme. I didn't think I really need some attention. Send me the link. Or I didn't fake outrage. I was genuinely one of those.
No, you were genuinely outraged. You were legitimately outraged.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the appeal of it too, is that people could see that it was genuine. It was not an act. I don't think it would have been as big as it was if it was an act, because people can usually see through that.
That's a good point. Same 100 backs twice because they know balls are best in pairs. Neff is on crack right now, man. I'm always on crack. I don't always let it show, and I don't always have Matty Fowler and his energy to feed off of to get me going like this. Like I'm on stream with like a legend of the you are a meme in a way, and I mean, you're definitely a meme. And it's great. That's the thing. Like, do you take that and run with it? Do you want to fund prospectors? Do you want to see that book happen again? What would it cost to price out Ricardo, Jamie, and Marcos Martins to do that whole book? You cracked 16 on this. You did 7 total between the 2 platforms on Dixie Rose. That's you made 9,000 more than those 2 things combined. And earlier you needed 10 grand to do prospectors. I think it's doable. I think if you ran prospectors right after Tyger Blue,
I needed 10 grand to take a 15 grand loss at doing prospectors. You understand? It's not that 10 grand doesn't pay for prospectors. And plus that 10 grand is such a shit lie because the majority of that money is shipping. Like that's the bulk of all of Comicsgate is Gemini mailing. Like that's the biggest winner besides lawyers, who are the second biggest winner in Comicsgate is the lawyers. They get.
Do we have like 3 concurrent lawsuits? Or no, it was JDA was going to be the 3rd, right?
Is the post office and the Gemini mailers. All that money that we flash and rap video about, like, yo, 16K, 5 figures, bitch, or whatever, shit is a front. It's dog shit. Yeah. It's all shipping. It's all shipping. And I can only imagine it's mo money, mo problems. You understand? The mo books you sell, the mo you getting taxed on shipping. And you got to pay like you got these big earnings, like you're styling and profiling, but that ain't net. You're paying taxes on shit that ain't even net. And you're fucking, a majority of your earnings are shipping. I don't see the money from all the rap video flavor of the personality shit. I don't see, the numbers don't work out for me like that. I'm doing this for fun because I like the same 100. And to me, Tyger Blue is dope. To me, Jose's art on Tyger Blue is some next level shit. He evolved and leveled up like a Super Saiyan and just dropped science on these people. And really, if you don't see it and it doesn't activate something in you, then I don't know what else to do because it's the dopest thing I can make, with appeal or whatever, other than some real esoteric, unique demonology shit with the prospectors that's like so niche upon niche anyway. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? This is me doing Ninja Turtles, me doing Street Fighter, something fun and easily accessible,
Yeah. This is
I'm lettering it this week, writing the final pass on lettering, not lettering it myself, but the final dialogue script, right? Back and forth with the proofreader and editor, placing all my word balloons before I send the shit off to Eric Weathers, right?
Right.
And these are the best pages I've seen in any comic. Like seeing them in the high res PSD digital files, like working with the big shit. It's like, oh my God, this thing is so awesome. And I've read it 1,000 times and I made it and it's still something I would pull off the shelf and stuff. And really,
I have to say,
go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of black and white comics in general. Like I like them, but I usually prefer color. I am so excited for this book because this is gorgeous black and white work. Like up here, the very first time I looked at this page in particular, at the very top, it almost looks like a photograph, like an old-time photograph.
Yeah, that's a dope.
It's just, I'm so excited for this book. This has the kind of depth that you see in color.
I mean, that happens a lot that people will draw.
Yeah, it's possible,
photos. But still, the fact that kind of art is in the book in the first place. So the book is a really cool idea too. It's almost like genetically engineered.
Oh yeah, the story is great too. But like
kind of like Hellboy,
black and white art.
No,
I won't be as excited for this.
Sure. Yeah, 100%. And like you said, it's marketable, right? Prospectors is very niche in that regard, but the art alone should get it the attention that Dixie Rose had, because strippers and sci-fi and stuff has been what you've been doing. Like Prospectors, I don't know if it really hit its own genre, because I can't imagine off the top of my head what genre that would be. So like you said, it's niche, but you did a really good job.
Right,
it's like a Western.
Most people are like the gunslinger is the focus of the Western, right? So I took it and flipped the script and made the focus on like the characters in Westerns nobody focuses on, like the prostitute and the Chinese dynamite expert and the fucking cook or prospect, like the crazy cook, kind of. I took all the background character archetypes from Westerns and made them the heroes.
Oh, that's cool, man.
But yeah, I mean, it was a Western. Westerns, whatever. You got me all hung up. I try not to talk about prospectors, man. That shit gets me fucked up.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get you fucked up. Maybe I did. I don't know. But I do think that that there's something to be said about past books that, you know, didn't make it, and lament the fact that they didn't, but also, you know, consider possibly doing something with them in the future. Because like, I look at your earliest book, right? I look at you know, what you did with Tom Dubois and Red Giant Battle, and you did like the coloring stuff. You worked with ink spots to do like that watercolor technique, I think. I would love to see that book get made. That book looks completely different than the other stuff that's been done. It looks like some shit that you would see out of heavy metal. It looks like some shit that you would see out of, you know, the European scene these days. I just backed, what was it, that The Bridge, that book? What are you giggling about?
So Neo started saying that I didn't like Riserman, and now Ollie probably hates me again because he says Freq Girl hating on Undead Border and the Cryptidals, all black and white books. It's not that I don't like black and white books. So I will be 100% honest with you. I sometimes have a hard time reading what is happening in black and white books. When there's shading in black and white books, it's
3 tones
it's different. Like with the screen tone, right?
Yep.
It's different. When it's more the flat, I don't know the artistic terms because I can't art anything, but
the color helps you see depth, because colors will adjust the colors on panels to add depth. So if you see the black and white book, it looks like a scribbled bunch of dog shit barfed on it.
Exactly.
This is very hard for me to see what is
because
happening.
it's just line art and ink. There's no three tones in there to separate.
Yeah, that's really what I mean when I say black and white.
But personally, I don't like black and white books because I feel that there's a lot of storytelling that can be done with color. I thought Undead Border was well drawn and incredibly written. I think Riserman's off to a good start, but if I could see those in color, actually, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to see Undead Border in color. I would want to see Riserman in color. I think Undead Border sits perfectly the way it is.
Like colors, two things are hard about color, right? One is finding a colorist. That is the most difficult.
Well, I mean, you found Marcos, so you know, whatever.
The other thing
he's fantastic.
Is color adds so much cost to a product. And when you're failing again and again and again and again, right? You can't afford to make these big budget pilots that don't take off, right? I view it like making a pilot episode of a show or something, right? These pilots don't take off. You can't afford the same camera anymore. You can't get the high def shit anymore. So now I'm down here in the slums. I can only work in black and white, right? And so that's where Tyger Blue came about, to be black and white. It wasn't because it was so dope in black and white. It's just because I failed so many times, so broke. Like I can't afford to make a full color comic anymore. Like I just can't carry that financial burden. I can't carry the burden of the extra cost of printing a colored comic, and I can't carry the burden of the schedule to wait for the colors to come in. It adds an amount of production time that when you're so far behind in the game and you've fallen on your face so many times, I can't afford to wait. I have to do 3 books this year instead of 1. I have to do, I have to move at twice or 3 times the speed of the fastest people now because I'm so far behind, so it's just not really an option, color and artistic choice and all that is fine and dandy, but I mean, I'm broke.
If you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. That is truly a downer. You could get competitive. I don't know how you found Marcos, I don't know what did you find him on ArtStation? How'd you locate him? But there are competitively priced colorists out there. Marcos can be pricey now. Marcos has got a lot of
more than now than when
he was before. That's what I was saying. Like it would be hard to finish Prospectors because you got to go get Ricardo Jamie and Marcos Martins to keep the book looking the same, and they're going to be far more expensive 2 years later than they were when you were making it.
They're still my friends and are still on board to do Prospectors, like at all of our original agreements and stuff. if I ever want to revisit it and stuff. But it's like, man, just let me get you guys jobs. Like, you can get like a lot of money right now. I'll tell my friends who need colorists to talk to you. I'll tell my friends who need covers. Or
we hired the shit out of Marcos.
Yeah.
We hired the shit out of
so many of our
Marcos.
prints.
The minute they turned in their last page of Dixie, right? I had them do 5 pinups for Tyger Blue 2. And then the minute those 5 pinups ran out, I just started, you know, shopping around and getting them as much work as I could, you know, muster up for them in DMs and shit. So, yeah, I'd work with them in a heartbeat on a high production thing like that. But it's like, I bit off more than I could chew. I'm capable of managing a project that big. It's not a problem of actually doing it. It's just I ain't got a following. No one gives a fuck about that enough to do a big budget movie. They don't just let random motherfuckers with zero experience do that shit, or you'll get critiqued.
Change your pronouns.
You know?
Change your pronouns. They will absolutely change your pronouns, and they'll let you
I mean,
come in. And
I already am a lesbian. You know what I'm saying? It's like I identify as a lesbian. That's my preferred method.
Mo Big says,
of
Maddie,
getting
now
out.
that you have
Identify as a lesbian.
you got all these fat stacks of links, have you considered paying them an exposure for prospectors? So I imagine that if you did start making little side appearances on shows and being like, all right, yeah, so you know, promote my book, there might be a way to stay in the mind of people, so that the next time you do run a campaign, people are more aware of it. Because honestly, that really is what it comes down to. It comes down to a personality people are amused by and want to support. You know, we all got to do the job to keep people entertained, but it's also just awareness, right? Like, I know you said you ran the ads, but how many people saw the ad? I read Downcast. I have Downcast. I was about to be like, yo, find it in the fucking box. Because I have Downcast. I don't remember seeing the ad for it.
Yeah.
Which box?
Yeah, which box? I know.
The show will be over by the time I find it.
We got Zayd.
I don't know. I don't even think like popular creators should stay in the spotlight all the time. You understand? Like the burnout is coming from no turnover. You know, it's like everybody used to watch Zach's streams, right? And then Ethan came, and then they stopped watching the Splato streams and watching the Ethan Piano Time streams, right? And then Mitch came along and was going to be the big Red Rooster streamer, right? And we were supposed to go watch Allegiance Art shit next. But then Ethan never left for a month to go make his book or whatever. He just stayed. So we've been perpetually just stuck in the Ethan show since. All of our little promotion groups all just filter up, you know, into that. It's all going there. No one's trading off what's hot, and no one else is coming in that's popular to move the audience around and kind of keep it moving from campaign to campaign, you know. Like Fraga, right? Everybody goes there in October because Fragtober, right? Mm-hmm. What if Fragtober was every week, it wouldn't be as dope as when it's Fragtober. You know?
It's Marcos.
Hey, Marcos, how's it going, man? Good to see you. A little moving around of variety or something. I don't know. We try to make shows or whatever. I really don't want to be a TV star or a YouTube star or a Johnny Carson. Like
that's why I'm saying, like, you don't have to be. We got to pick our best personalities and put them forward. Like Lord Crackhead is fucking killing it with OC Steve, right? A D-Wag and Steve show would be fantastic. You know, we got 656 is hilarious. They don't stream nearly enough, and I can't catch them because they're on later than I'm awake. Bancroft is the regular hangout. You know, you have people, you have personalities. What we need to be doing is rallying under those banners. And that's where Same 100 came from. It's the same 100 people in those chats and the same 100 backers on the books of the people who are in those chats. If we were somehow able to broaden that umbrella more and get more and more people interested in hanging out because we're doing cool stuff and having fun, we'd have numbers like what Tug has on Littlest Umbrella. Because what Tug does is he does the Johnny Depp Amber Heard drama shit. People flock to that and then they back his book. It's not necessarily because the book is the best book out there. You know?
The outrage marketing, right? Like the,
of course, Monday Night
Mayhem. It's
right?
like I don't know.
Monday Night, the Michael T stream, Monday Night. I can never remember. Is it Monday Night Mayhem, Monday Night Madness? I can't remember, bro. But yeah, Michael T streams for like 6 hours.
Yeah, but we watch that usually the next day. We don't watch that live.
I'm usually asleep. But Frog, it works for you because your time scale is all like, you know, weird from us. You're able to hit every stream because you sleep when most people are waking up for work.
Yeah, that's like our breakfast show.
Natty doesn't have time to be a full-time YouTube star. He could be the fudge buster who pops up on other people's streams for 10 minutes. That's what I'm saying. We have some bullshit going on our stream. If we could throw you the link, have you show up, kick down the door, call out some bullshit, and then disappear, you'd be a fucking, you'd be a ninja, bro. Like, everyone will remember that shit.
I did a whole investigation into this John and Liam thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately decided, like, fuck it. My investigation found that both of these people are horrible motherfuckers. And, like, speaking on it, right, will get me loss of fans through either side of people who pick sides in the wars. And, like, the fudge busting's okay or whatever. But honestly, like, at some point, I just kind of stopped giving a fuck. Like I was telling you guys earlier, I started playing Elden Ring for PlayStation 5, the new game Elden Ring from Software. And I've been experiencing joy for the first time in like several years since I've been in this comic book shit. This comic book shit is a vile pit of hate. Like I don't like it. It doesn't make me happy. And even making my ultimate work and like shit with some of the best artists, I'm still left like hollow and hating the world inside. It reminds me of when I was 13 years old and just stopped giving a fuck about comic books and got my Super Nintendo. And I was playing Castlevania 4 and Contra and Mario World. And I just stopped caring about Pit, which was 10 months late at this point and stuck on issue 4, or Spawn, which McFarlane had stopped drawing and writing at that point, and all the Blood Strike and janky Image comics that was Cable number 15 clone, all the dog shit that eventually collapsed the industry was coming in, and I feel that again. Like playing Elden Ring brought me more joy than when I got my Super Nintendo, and like even revisiting comics is just an awful, stress-inducing chore kind of burden situation. It's like I just want to play some video games, man. These things are fun for a reason. There's joy if they make billions of dollars for a reason. This hate-filled little backbiting clique of people has lost my heart. I can honestly say, like, I'm Crack Pack and I'm Same 100, but I have no idea what the fuck Comicsgate even is now. I can't call myself something that I don't recognize, or I don't know.
There it is, man. You said it. Like, so that's it.
If that
you say what's on everybody's mind,
or whatever, it's whatever. But I'm Crack Pack, ride or die. I'm Same 100. I'm a bogan bumping motherfucker. And if y'all still have me, but until you can tell me what the fuck CG is nowadays, I can't really ride with it like that. Like it's not something. I mean, just look at it. Look at the top 12, top 15 books on Creator Go, and just look at them shits with eyes. Just look at them shits, man. And then watch 2018 Zach videos. Watch 10 2018 Zach videos. Look at that top 10 on Creator Go, and then use your brain and imagine 2018 Zach just reviewing all of that shit. And if your shit ain't up to par and can't hang with what 2018 Zach was putting out, then get the fuck out. Because that's the type of shit I represent. That's the type of shit I came around to be. Customer service. Customer comes first. Boutique comic books that are high end. You called even my worst comic book French, Bandonnet, Red Giant Battle. I want your most dog shit thing to be better than anything the industry put out. And that's what I'm about. And that's Crack Pack. And that's Same 100. And that's the bow energy. And that's what I'm about lately. That's what brings me joy. Hanging out in the chat.
That's it. Yeah, hanging out in the chat.
I like seeing. That's what
seeing the people that you love every day, talking to people about the books that you like that they're making, like talking about Tyger Blue. We didn't even get to talk about Tyger Blue, but talking about Tyger Blue with you is the shit that I want to do. I don't want to watch Amber Heard videos. I don't want to talk about why Batman sucks. I want to talk about Tyger Blue.
Tyger Blue 2, right? I did. It's called Tyger Blue 2, The Golden Age. It's 4 20-page full issues. Because I'm proving I could do single issues or whatever. They're all drawn by Jose. Each of the 4 issues is written by one of the superstars in Comicsgate or the surrounding area. Von Klaus, Mike Barron, Narwhal, and Sweetcast. Each wrote a chapter.
That's a good lineup.
Spring, summer, fall. Each one is an interconnected story with all the same characters, all Jose's artwork, and it's Tyger Blue training these 2 superhero sidekicks. Training Kid Terror and Dynamic Boy, and it's full Fantastic Four adventure and shit. And I'll tell you the truth, man, I'm worried if it will get anywhere near the funding of Tyger Blue. I'm almost certain Tyger Blue was a fluke and a fun little lucky thing. And even with the star power I'm bringing in on the second book, I don't think it will move the needle at all because
I'm feeling the same thing about MAVRICS, bro, because I didn't know you were doing your thing. Mine aren't interconnected, but I've brought in outside talent to write side missions that are like little companion books. And that's what the tiers are going to be. It's the main book with little book by this guy or little book by this guy, or little book by this guy, drawn and written by a different creative team. And I'm petrified that I'm paying for that shit. I'm paying for that talented team to come in. It's a different book, which means it's a different print run altogether that I have to pay for. It's not part of my primary order. And I'm not going to hit 30K to be able to afford all of that. So I feel you. I know where you're at right now. The question is, do we take that risk? Do we push the hell out of it and try and make that a thing? Mobig says, I think it depends on how much people like Tyger Blue when they get it. That's true. From what we've seen, though, I mean, from what we see up front, a lot of these campaigns that I've been seeing lately are actually delivering on what we see on those campaigns. That cannot be said for 100% of the books last year or the year before. The stuff that I've been getting in my mailbox recently has been able to deliver on the campaign promises of what was shown on the campaign. That's not the case in the past. A lot of the books, I mean, the majority of comic books suck, right? The majority of comic books in general, in the mainstream, from industry comics, the majority of them do not live up to their own hype or our expectations of them. And that's certainly true for modern comics that you find in stores. But the nice thing is, like, when I get to talk to a creator like you, we talk about Tyger Blue. I look at the page of Tyger Blue. You tell me all the things that I would be able to expect from Tyger Blue, and then I get that book. If that book lives up to my expectations, I'm in, because I already knew what the last one was like, and I trust you. And that's what I'm hoping we can do in Crack Pack. Same 100 is to fulfill confidence in the readers, to show them, hey, we put our money where our mouth is. We put up a campaign that cost us $38,000 to do, you know what I mean? Or $48,000 to do, or whatever. And we pulled it off. We fulfilled your expectations that we created when we were selling it to you. So we delivered. And that means that you have a go-to campaign that you can point at and say, yeah, I did this and I'm ready to go. I think because you did fulfill Dixie Rose, right? I think February 28th, I think, is when you said you fulfilled. It's probably in one of my damn piles of boxes.
As I said, we started getting digitals out to everyone the last week of December, and the final ones went out in February, I think.
So then it's probably in one of my stacks of cardboard boxes with you know, in one of the Gemini mailers that I got. I'm so bad at getting through all of my stuff, but like I have a feeling I'm going to crack into that book, read it, and be like, yeah, this Fowler guy delivers exactly the thing that I expect because of the expectation he built up in me. And that's going to make me want to back you from here on out, because if every book lives up to the expectations you set for me, I'm trusting you and you're giving me what I want. And that's what's missing from a lot of the creators that have already existed. Someone says, hey, I've got this really cool book about this superhero team and they fight a giant monkey. And if it doesn't live up to the expectations that that creator puts in me, then I'm going to be like, this didn't land the way I wanted it to. I might be less inclined to back that person again. But if they're the only voice that I hear and they're the only thing that I see in front of me being an alternative indie comics, then I don't know there are other options. And there's literally hundreds of these people making these books. That's what drives me crazy. People on Twitter going like, oh, well, Comicsgate is full of hateful people. I'm like, bitch, what Comicsgate do you know? You know, I feel like, what's her name? Kelly Sue DeConnick. What comic books are you reading? Which creators do you know? Because the people I hang out with, they aren't hateful. Maybe they got a couple of mean things to say every once in a while, but it's generally not undeserved either. You know? So we don't get seen.
Most Republican
no matter how hard we try, we don't get seen. Not
most
these other channels get seen.
Are married with kids and conservative. A lot of them are religious or whatever. A lot of those guys left. It's a variety. There's all kinds of different creators and politics or whatever. But I mean, you know, you don't see openly vocal liberal in Comicsgate. There's no one walking around talking about how liberal they are and how ready they are to vote for Biden again and shit. I mean, it is what it is. They do kind of live off that Trump fumes still. They're just like huffing and breathing the orange air and like really want it so hard to be 2016 again. And it's like, it's not. That was a moment in time. It was funny. We laughed at them. Like, it was hilarious. Like, I don't even vote or believe in any of that shit. I know that shit's all crooked and fucking messed up anyway. Why vote? It's a waste. I don't care if red team wins or blue team wins. It was just so funny watching them cry so hard. It's like it was a game show host that was on your TVs every week, firing people and on Saturday Night Live and hanging out with Little John and Don King and shit. It's like, and now it's Hitler. It just really was a reality check to how fucking deluded and wimpy and fucking pussy based most motherfuckers are now. It was just real weird. So I'm not really Republican at all, or like a go Reagan. Like when they start talking about go Nixon, go Reagan, it's like, go hang out with my grandma and watch I Love Lucy. Like, what the fuck is this dinosaur ass shit? Who cares about Nixon or what Gerald Ford did? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, I'm here for ninjas and combat and fucking superpowers. I'm a fucking 44-year-old, 12-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. I barely vote. It's like, you know, fuck that shit. So when it gets all Trumpy, it's real sad more than anything. You know, it's like, oh, watching Heil Trump leader memes is super fucking cringe in 2022, honestly. But I mean, you do you, man. That if you've got a lot of money, go be Puff Daddy. All right, I'm gonna be Gangstar. All right, DJ Premier will make beats for both of us, but my shit will be street. I'm Gangstar. You're Puff Daddy. Go be Puff Daddy. You know, that's just kind of where I'm at with all that.
I'll live in my, you know, my mansion in the sky, right?
No, I mean, people flex like it's like, no. At the end of the day, I eat the same steak. I wear polo head to toe, and fucking my kicks probably cost more than yours. I work with bomb ass artists that are fucking legends. At the end of the day, you can't make me feel broke just because my comic book doesn't earn. That shit's a hobby that I was making for y'all motherfuckers anyway. And if y'all motherfuckers didn't like it, what am I gonna do? Cry? Like, you should have liked it. Darn it. It's like, nah, man, I thought it was dope. And I thought my bullshit detector was on hit. But if y'all's are malfunctioned, I can't adjust it. You know, I can't. You know,
at the sound bites coming out of this show, man. The sound bites. Seriously, the
bombed,
clips.
Right? At the time Prospectors bombed, right? It was the thought wars of 2020. The thoughts won CG. War Campaign versus the thoughts. We remember what happened. A garbage cover came out. It was dog shit. A few people made fun of it. There was a huge reaction. Then a bunch of weirdos pretended to be those people who made fun of it and made fun of someone's sister's suicide and became completely animalistic. which was dog shit. A lot of good creators got flushed down the toilet during the Thought Wars. And a lot of good books got thrown out of existence during the Thought Wars. And a lot of garbage came in, and the floodgates were almost open to pure dog shit after the Thought Wars, man. So when I go in to do Dixie, I'm thinking like, well, you motherfuckers showed what you wanted this whole time. You wanted thoughts. You wanted big ass titties and titty books and these like softcore porn, like Skinamax fucking things. Like that's what your money was backing. That's the swimsuit issues people were putting out at the time. I mean, that was the flavor. And apparently motherfuckers didn't want that flavor either. So it's like, I'm giving y'all the flavors you're asking for and you don't want them. I don't know what to tell y'all, man. You know, it's like, I can't make anything doper though. That's all I got. That's what I got is what you see. And if you don't feel it, man, I can't, I'm not holding back the dopeness so I can fill it with social issues or some shit, you know? Or because the budget wouldn't let me get a good artist, or I kind of just want to be in it, so I'm going to draw it myself, even though this looks like a toddler wouldn't even hang it on the fridge shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, man. I feel like it needs to be better. It's not what I liked, and it wouldn't pass no 2018 Zach Mustard, and that's just facts, you know? Even Zach wouldn't pass 2018 Zach Mustard.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna be like, you know, that's a snapshot in the career, right? There's a standard there,
right? And it's like if you've fallen that far or lost that much of where you were going, what was the point of rallying us all up and getting us into this shit in the beginning, like stirring all this shit and getting this movement fucking started if it's just gonna be abandoned? And turned, I don't know, whatever. Everybody's going to say how successful everything is and how great everything is and how campaigns are through the roof and numbers are through the roof. But when I look at it, it don't feel like it. It don't feel like that happy Elden Ring place where I'm playing that game and that's fucking fun and awesome shit is happening with good graphics and shit that is meant to entertain me. That Elden Ring shit has no SJW dog shit, has no fucking outside influence or whatever.
Just a game.
It's not handholdy, so you can go through all the levels with it being easy. No, it's just challenge. It's sheer excellence of graphics and fucking. It's something that's helping me escape, you know, and enjoyment. And it's like, dude, comic books just don't do that anymore for me, dude. That shit just ain't. It's just not there, and I understand why the industry's dying because people aren't actively trying to make it about entertaining and make you have those good feelings that video games like Elden Ring certainly do in spades.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like there's so much hater energy, either from the side we call the SJWs, hating on the people that they make up as bad guys, right? Or the people who are getting hated on, hating the stuff that's made that's hating on them. So it's a negative cycle that we get caught up in. So that's you going to play Elden Ring is breaking you out of that, man. You're not thinking about making comics and doing the, you know, getting on the grind and the drudge and being surrounded by that. You're just off having fun fighting monsters. And bro, I get it.
No, actually that's the opposite. I've been in DMs with Jose all week. He's on vacation and we're deeply like crafting Tyger Blue 3 for December. And all the villains and all the monsters and how the fights are going to go and this submarine base and this skyscraper set piece. And dude, no, I'm saying it's inspiring. Like it's not stifling the creativity at all with this toxic tar. Like,
so Elden Ring's inspiration. It's not so much as an escape.
Now, like the moment of freedom, like allows the recalibration and resetting from all the dog shit of it, because it doesn't feel good.
Maybe I need to start playing video games again.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Oh, I can't play video games. I'm too busy." It's like, no, you're too busy. Play video games. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing I can really explain it. But it made the crafting of the third issue and the script like not only effortless but like enhanced. You know, like I'm saying, once you can get out of the trees and above and like see that there's more than this swamp that we're all in, like it's very liberating, I guess is a way to describe it.
Man, that's some crazy good insight. Like this whole stream has just been truth bomb after truth bomb, right? And talking out and what we see and talking out those issues. I think like we've come to the hour 48 mark. Like I didn't even realize that we've been going for almost 2 hours, bro. It was a pleasure having you on this stream. Like, I don't even know what else there's, like the script, whatever. Like we went all over the place. We mentioned some of the stuff that's on here. I really want to see Red Giant Battle, man. That shit had me so excited. I was on that website ordering Sideshow 66 and checking out your other shit. And I was so upset that book isn't finished. If anything, like I would love to see that get made. I think that would blow the fucking doors off with everybody taking a look at it. It is so fucking tight.
I showed up in Hollywood and just started wanting to film high budget movies and just started directors of photography and A-list actors, and not realizing that Hollywood's about sucking dicks and fucking.
I know. And I just didn't want to come on my chin.
Glow. 8 Harvey Weinsteins before you can make. No one told me. So I'm suffering in the grind because I was a little bit too big for my britches with my ambitions, certainly. But I feel the fans do deserve those ambitious projects, and I can bring them to reality if, some ears are in the forest to hear these fucking trees fall. The more I fucking keep chopping this wood, man.
Well, I mean, you making noise for sure. People are like hearing you, and that's one of the other reasons I think ninja appearance by Matthew Fowler every now and again, kicking in the door, calling out the fudge, chopping down some trees, and being like, "Now I'm out, bitches." Like, I love it. I love the idea of that. So,
we got a YouTube. We got a YouTube for the artist I manage, and it's got videos of the latest Castlevania boxes being drawn, the latest Contra boxes being drawn, and it gets 10 views a video, 20 views a video. There's a science and a dark alchemy to YouTube that I just don't understand. And I can usually master things if I put my mind to them and kind of focus on it and see like, oh, here's the patterns.
I feel the same way with YouTube.
In the system, here's the little glitches. Here's how you rig it. But like, I don't even want to look at the YouTube shit to figure it out. Like, it's that, like, ugh. Like, that's just, it's mouth barfy. And Zach abandoned Twitter, or people abandoned platforms. To me, the only place I want to be on YouTube really is in the chat, like saying bow and saying, every day to my people.
Every day. Yeah.
I don't.
Crack pack up here in the chat, smoking crack every day. Bow.
Yeah, sure.
Oh man. All right. Well, we're gonna call it there, I think, and we're gonna go get some food and then tune into Bancroft, in 2 hours. I think B-Ro is gonna be streaming now or something like that. Maybe.
Oh, nice! I'll go check out B-Ro.
I'll have them on while I eat some food, because that's what this is, man. Like it's there are people that you go and you spend time with in the afternoons and the evenings, right? People usually streaming and we all hanging out there, and that's how this stuff keeps going. So without further ado, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna say thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and hanging out with me and Matthew Fowler, talking some Tyger Blue, shooting the shit. Cutting through the fat and the fudge. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tune into the bell for notifications.
And tune into the frequency.
I can never get this outro right. We'll see you next time.
Later, guys.